Hello YouTube viewers, welcome back to my channel, Survive and Thrive. Today I'm going to jump right into it. We're talking about MindMed, MNMD. If you don't know about this company, you need to do some research. This is a company that's involved with psychedelic research and development, and they're working in clinical trials to deal with everything from depression to anxiety to other mental disorders, and being able to treat those with microdosing of psilocybin, LSD, and some other psychedelics that they're also doing some further research on. I've done other videos in the past. I'll put a suggestion link up here in the upper right hand corner. Really what I wanted to touch on is the latest news as far as where MindMed is and where they're headed. Starting with this first article is Wall Street high or low on Mind Medicine, MNMD. This was just from the other week. MindMed finished Thursday with an addition of 0.03 to close at $2.80, an upside of 1.08%. An average of 5.9 million shares of common stock have been traded in the last 5 days as of that time. There was a gain of 30 cents in the past week, and it reached a new high 16 times over the past 12 months. The last 20 days have seen an average of 3.3 million shares traded, while the 50-day average volume stands at 3.1 million. This stock has increased by 26.7% in the last month. As of November 5th, the company's shares reached their 1-month lowest point of $2.16 on October 6, 2021, with the stock rallying to its 52-week high on April 27th, 2021. Shares of the company touched a low of 78 cents and a high of $5.77 in 52 weeks. So obviously with this one, it's very volatile, and you want to be careful how you buy into this one. If you're really into the company, definitely dollar cost average, week to week or month to month, however your frequency is set up. But I'd be very careful to watch as this goes high and low, because it can change very quickly, being that they're still in clinical trial research for most of their drugs, and it's going to take time for them really to build a case to get this FDA approval for a lot of these and get them out on the market. It could be years. And so at this point, you've got plenty of time to look for those opportunities for it to dip and buy in at those entry and buy points, continue to build out your position, and really stack on to what you have, because in the future, if they are successful, which my personal opinion, I do have holdings in them and I do continue to build out what I have, I think they will be, if not the leader, one of the top leaders, because as I'll cover here later in this video, they're starting to make more and more business connections and really being efficient with their cash flow and making sure that they can take advantage of doing the research, building out their business, making those connections with the key partners that they need, and really making an impact on the medical community. So if we jump down here to what analyst ratings are stating, Maxim Group launched coverage on Mind Medicine in its analyst report released on June 28, 2021. The firm assigned the stock a buy rating at that time. The consensus rating for MindMed among analysts is buy. According to current brokerage recommendations, 0 brokerage firms advise that investors sell MNMD, while 0 suggests investors hold. There are 0 analysts who rate the stock as underweight. The stock is rated overweight by 0 analysts, while 4 others rate it as a buy. So like I'm saying, it does seem like there is some decent sentiment from the Wall Street analysts, but there is room to improve. And I think that will come in time as it becomes more well known and you start to see the success of these clinical trials. So you need to do your own due diligence and research and really dig into what the vision is for this company. But I've done enough research to know that this is a place where you want to position yourself, buy in heavy when you can, to ride out those substantial gains in the years to come. What is MNMD's price target for the next 12 months? Analysts predict a range of price targets between $3.38 and $7.92, with a median target of $5.57. Taking a look at these predictions, the average price target given by analysts for MindMed stock is $5.61. So a very good upside from where they are currently. They're just under $3, and to make it up to $5.50, almost $6, that is a great return on your investment. So that's why, like I said, you've got to look at the long-term picture for this company and not really get caught up in the volatility of the ups and downs, because this is one of those companies at this time that is reacting either positively or negatively to any news. And so it's very sensitive to reports as they're coming out, which may either positively or negatively impact the outlook. Today, there was an article that came out earlier. Mind medicine is going up. Why? At last check, the Mind Medicine stock is up 3.16% in pre-market trading and could continue to rise as researchers look at the effects of LSD on anxiety, pain, and adult ADHD. If the company continues to succeed, it might get access to multi-billion-dollar mental health markets such as the $4.7 billion anxiety industry and the $9.5 billion industry in ADHD. The R-MDMA program by MindMed adds to the company's drug development pipeline. MDMA for the treatment of social anxiety and functioning and diagnoses such as autism spectrum disorder has expanded the pipeline of a major biotech business developing psychedelic-inspired treatments, ASD. This program represents a significant expansion and diversity of MindMed's pipeline, and it advances the company's aim of developing novel solutions that help patients meet unmet medical needs. That's why, for me, when I see the way that MindMed is approaching how they're building their business, they really are branching out in a bunch of different areas simultaneously. And I think that under the right management, if this is done well, then they will have a very high success rate. ASD is characterized by social anxiety and deficits in social functioning, and it affects about 2% of people in the United States. The expense of ASD is expected to reach $461 billion in the United States by 2025, underscoring the need for and possibility for innovative therapies. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, roughly 12% of the general population in the United States suffers with social anxiety disorder at some point in their lives. So you can see that if MindMed is able to tap into this total addressable market and get a decent percentage of that, then there are very big dollars at stake for them to be able to build revenue off of. And like I said, I think that they have the potential to do it, and that's why I'm building out a strong position now. You can see here down below, MDMA, a racemic combination of two physically distinct stereoisomers, is being developed for the treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder and has shown statistically significant favorable outcomes in a crucial phase 3 experiment. And yet again, they're mentioning another business development or strategic collaboration that's happening. Sphere Health and MindMed have announced a strategic research collaboration. Sphere Health, a physician-founded employee benefits provider focused on treatments for people with severe mental illness, has agreed to collaborate with a leading biotech company developing psychedelic-inspired therapies to collect and analyze multimodal data in order to improve the understanding of a variety of biomarkers associated with mental illnesses such as anxiety and affective disorders. MindMed and Sphere Health are collaborating on MM061302, a project that will employ existing consumer technologies to create a robust data collection that can be used to generate more accurate machine learning techniques to detect biomarkers that are associated with and predict anxiety and depression symptoms. So you start to hear a lot more of this machine learning, artificial intelligence, the deep data analytics that are starting to happen with a lot of companies. And when MindMed is starting to already jump into this with other companies and going down that path, I think it bodes very well for their future development and where they're headed. Here is one to pay attention very closely to. This was also an article released today. MindMed announces financial results for the third quarter 2021 and business highlights. Cash balance of $145.9 million US dollars to execute on diverse clinical pipeline. Now I just want to touch on the highlights because this is just discussing what's going to be covered later this week, but I want to give you a sense for what you want to pay attention to, the key points to see if this is either going to impact investors in a positive or negative light and could further bring us to the downside or really start to create some momentum. In either case, you want to watch because it's either going to help you with gains if you do have holdings in this company, or it could be an opportunity for you to buy in and or add or round out your position with this company. Cash balance, total assets as of September 30th, 2021 were $178.6 million, including $145.9 million in cash, as compared to $85.6 million, including $80.1 million in cash, as of December 31st, 2020. So it hasn't even been a year yet, and they've made a significant increase in piling up on cash. So that's a very positive sign. Net cash used in operating activities. Net cash used in operating activities of $10.8 million and $31.9 million for the 3 and 9 months ended September 30th, 2021, as compared to $5.8 million and $16.5 million for the 3 and 9 months ended September 30, 2020, respectively. Shows that they're spending a lot more money on building out those businesses and making those connections. And that's going to be the case probably for at least the next few years. And you're going to see where this is going to pay off very well for them if all is managed well. Net loss, net and comprehensive loss of $24.3 million and $74.6 million for the 3 and 9 months ended September 30th, 2021, as compared to $8.6 million and $21.4 million for the 3 and 9 months ended September 30th, 2020. Now, if we look at business highlights, announced the appointment of Andreas Krebs and Carol Vallon as board directors and the transition of Bruce Linton. Appointed 3 new members to its scientific advisory board: Dr. Maria Oquendo, Ruth Meltzer, professor and chairman of psychiatry at the University of Pennsylvania and psychiatrist in chief at the Hospital of the University of Pennsylvania; Dr. Bob Dworkin, professor of anesthesiology and perioperative medicine, neurology, and psychiatry, and professor in the Center for Health Plus Technology at the University of Rochester School of Medicine and Dentistry; and Dr. Brian Roth, University of North Carolina, psychiatrist and pharmacologist. So bringing on some very skilled and expert staff members in their profession. MindMed and Link-T Lab provided results from the psilocybin research and development R&D collaboration, which came out with some very positive and forward-looking results. Joined the Clinical Trials Transformative Initiative and Critical Path Institute's Patient-Reported Outcome Consortium. Announced a strategic research collaboration with Spear Health, which I talked about earlier. MindMed and BioXcel Therapeutics published an international patent application describing a system for identifying agitation episodes, and announced collaboration with Forian to advance development of personalized psychiatry for anxiety disorders. So a lot of good, positive outlooks coming, and I think that this is only going to be strengthened, and we're going to see good outcomes and results from their clinical trials. And I really hope that in the next 3 to 5 years, we start to see FDA approvals and things coming through that are going to put them in a place to be able to sell the medicinal drugs that they're currently developing, and really being able to make an impact on the medical community and those who are suffering from these real mental disorders. Management update and earnings call. Management will host an earnings call to review the third quarter financials and business developments on Wednesday, November 17th, 2021 at 8 o'clock in the morning, and this is Eastern time. And for anybody that's living in the Pacific time zone, that would be 5 o'clock in the morning. So definitely one to watch out for. I'm sure if you do miss it, there will be a way to find the recording to check out the highlights. But for me personally, I want to go into detail on this when it does come out and really pay attention to what's being discussed, what the future vision is as far as where they're headed, and how this may impact an investor's either positively or negatively. Lastly, I just wanted to touch on what's been happening with the price action on MindMed MMEDF stock. And as you can see in the last 5 days, it's been in a decline of 16.37%. Now, this is really what you have to pay attention to, and why I wanted to talk about really looking at long term. If we go to 1 month, now we're in the positive, 2.62%. 6 months, down 29%. Year to date, down 19.24%. In last year, up 115.6%. So you can just see that volatility just with me changing from, days, month to 6 months to a year chart. And you can look here to see all the peaks and valleys. And it has to be in your mind as a long-term investor to really look at the big picture for where this company is headed. And like I said, you really want to watch and be careful about where you buy into this. If it's just one that you want to continue building over time and you don't want to try and time this, then dollar cost average. Outside of that, if you have money, cash sitting on the sideline, look for these opportunities. As soon as you see it dip and it takes a 10 or 15% correction, buy in. Buy in enough that you know you're going to be in a very good position in the years to come. And when we do see these substantial gains, then you'll be at a spot where you can sell off part of your position if you want to take the gains at that time and only be hit with long-term capital gains tax, but also still be able to maintain your position within the company if it's one that you feel strongly about. If you really liked what you heard in this video, make sure you hit that like button and definitely subscribe. Turn on that bell so that you're notified as I'm updating new content week to week. I'm almost at 100 subscribers. I think I'm at 96 or 97. And in the last 2 weeks, I've had, I think it's anywhere from 14 to almost 20 subscribers that have been added. So the community and this channel is really starting to pick up and grow, which I'm really happy about. And as always, use the comments below to be information exchange for all of us investors. We want to help each other out. That's really why I'm here. I want to branch out to the community and do what I can to help. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of 2021 holds. And I hope everybody does have a great week. Don't just survive, thrive.